Woo! Hey. Welcome, hashtag PVT, Professional Valley Talk. Y pues, ya sabes, aquí tenemos al Quincy Carter, former Dallas Cowboy quarterback. This little segment we're going to do here for tonight. I'm going to ask Quincy a little question because I was watching some of your highlights, man, from back in 2003 when you connected with Galloway in the end zone. And you had gone through like 26 possessions without a score, man. It was a little drought you were going through around there. And then when you connected with Galloway on that particular play, it was like a big load off your shoulders, wasn't it, bro?
Yeah, it was. We actually were struggling on offense for a little while, and yeah, I guess you can say it like that. You know what I mean?
What was going on with the offense back then? I mean, who was coaching you guys?
It was Bill Parcells. And Sean Payton actually was our offensive coordinator.
Was Bill Parcells the one that brought you into the Cowboys? Was he the one that drafted you in, or who was the one?
No, actually, Dave Campo.
It's interesting you say Sean Payton because Sean Payton's having amazing success in New Orleans. So he was your offensive coordinator, bro?
Yes, he was.
And how was he, bro, when he was there, man?
He was the same Sean Payton he is right now today, man. Just very innovative with his play calling, and always going to come up with something new each and every week.
So then that 26-play drought that you went through before scoring the score with Galloway, Sean Payton was pretty much calling the plays then, huh?
Bill Parcells actually called the plays, but Sean Payton pretty much, drew up all the plays during the week, and then pretty much Bill Parcells called them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So then Sean Payton probably wasn't taking too much of the heat then. It was all on Bill then.
Pretty much you can say that.
He's not tough enough. If you get your feelings hurt, that's too bad. Start taking control of what's going on around here. Looking at me with them basset hound eyes. Don't be looking at me with them. And don't call me sir. I ain't in the Army. Just call me Bill. You want to buck on this? What do you say? You're going to make it. Okay, you got it.
All the beat writers and everybody around the team, they pretty much knew that Sean Payton was actually, making up all the plays during the week. So, yeah, you can say that. You can actually say that the heat wasn't on him just then, but I think he took over like a couple years later, and that's when the heat really started getting on him, as far as, wins and losses or whatever, and the offense not, playing well at times.
So the 2003 season, was that your last season there?
Yes, it was.
What happened at the end of that season or what?
Actually, we went into the offseason. I was the starter, and I made the mistake of my life, and I failed the drug test.
Okay.
And then I was released on August 4th of 2004, right before the season. Actually, we were in training camp. So yeah, that's basically what happened.
So you failed the drug test. They didn't have any type of drug program there with the Dallas Cowboys, or any type of 3-strike program, or had you already gone through your 3 strikes, or what was going on?
Well, I was in the drug program, and what did the drug program consist of in the Dallas Cowboy organization? Well, actually, it's not even the Dallas Cowboys organization.
Okay.
Actually, it's the NFL's.
Okay.
They have their own sanctions as far as rules and rules and regulations of how the NFL goes about its drug testing policies. And from what I hear, I got put in the program. And once you put in the program, you're subject to testing anytime. They can call you from Mexico. Mm-hmm. You got to come and give a sample.
Yeah, urine sample or blood sample.
Exactly. And so I was put in the program then. Then I failed the test during that off season, and
which was the off season going into 2004.
Off season going into 2004.
Yeah, you finished the 2003 season.
Yes, and actually it was July.
So then, when you got that July of 2004, you had already been on a strike, or you had already been warned about it, or what?
No, I just actually was just in the program. I never got a 4-game fine, never got a 4-game suspension. But when I failed that test particularly, that's when I got my 4-game fine. For some reason, the Cowboys thought actually that I was getting ready to get suspended. And from what I hear, that they went on and release me before the embarrassment of me being suspended.
Yeah.
And so they thought I was getting ready to get suspended, and I wasn't. But, that's neither here or there. If I would have never failed a test, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. So,
So what happened as soon as you were let go and you were given the news? Or were you called into the office, and did the coach have to give you the news, or how did that happen?
Actually, we call him the Turk. That's the guy who comes around and lets you know that you're getting ready to get cut. And it was about 5:30 in the morning when he started banging on my door. And actually, I thought it was, maybe I got some good luck or something. Maybe a little female or something coming over early in the morning. I hate to say it like that.
It was a booty call. They were booting you out of the Cowboys.
My girlfriend might kill me for that one, but but yeah. And so he came by and said, "Hey, Mr. Jones, want to see you." I said, "Oh man, this can't be good." And I still get emotional a little bit today, man, thinking about it and talking about it. But hey, he told me I was going to be released, and he told me, that pretty much, me failing that drug test was the final straw or whatever. And hey, what could I say?
How did Jerry Jones treat you during your tenure there, man? Was he cool with you, man? It's like, he's always. It seems like he has his favorite players, and he kind of backs him up. To me, it seems like if the coach tells one of his favorite players something, he'll jump in and tell the coach, take it easy on him. You know what I mean? Were you one of Jerry's favorite guys there, or?
I would say so. I would say so. Yeah, I was one of his favorites. And I will say this, man. The only bad thing I really got to say about Mr. Jones, actually, was how he handled my release. That's the only thing bad I ever say about him, because he always had my back.
Well, I'm sure he was pretty disappointed with what happened, man, because if he had stepped up to the plate for you, and then you kind of disappoint. I've done that too, man. I've disappointed some bosses as well, man. It's nothing new. It happens a lot, but then again, I'm sure it hurt him as much as it hurt you, man, for him to do that. What do you think?
I think it did. I really do, because I can really say that he really cared about me. I can say that. He always was calling me in his office. We always had pretty much weekly talks. During the off season, I would go over to his house and have dinner or whatever. So yeah, I think it did disappoint him. I really did.
What did you do as soon as you got the news, man? I mean, did you say, what, I'm gonna go party, or what do I got to do? I need to fix this. What is there that I can do, or was there any interest from other teams that might have wanted to give you a shot? What happened, man?
Actually, man, to be honest with you, man, I was so shocked, man, that I actually spent 3 days in California, in a hotel, man, just sitting. I was still in the drug program, so of course they were still coming to, test me or whatever. And then finally, man, I woke up about 3 days later. And literally, and I flew to Houston, and a good friend of mine, John Lucas, who's actually in the AA program. I went to his rehab for about 3 weeks, and spent some time with him, just making sure I didn't have any more slip-ups or anything like that. So yeah, I was down there for about 3 weeks, and then the Jets gave me a call after about 3 weeks, and then I ended up signing with the Jets for a year. Yep.
How did it go with the Jets, man, when you were up there?
I'm gonna tell you, man. When I talk about this and I tell people, New York was a blur to me, James. It was a complete blur. I was depressed. I was still in shock. I actually didn't even get a house or an apartment. I actually stayed in an extended stay. Now, it was nice. It was a Marriott extended stay. A little kitchenette, little dining room, and a bed. But, man, I was still in shock, James. Now, it was a great atmosphere up there in New York. I have to commend Herm Edwards on a first-class organization, Mr. Johnson, also the Johnson & Johnson family, the owner of the Jets. But it was a first-class organization, great teammates. Actually really got to really learn how to study the game from Chad Pennington, too. Chad was a great dude, man, a great mentor. Ended up starting about 3 or 4 games, won about 3 of those. It's my first time really in the West Coast offense too, so that was interesting to learn all the, the different protections and different calls. I mean, our whole play calling was different, in New York, but it was fun though because it was something I haven't done before. It was a little bit more simplified in Dallas. And then, really hearing about the West Coast offense with Joe Montana and Steve Young, but then actually getting to go out and perform within it, because I actually had a great offensive coordinator too, Paul Hackett, who was from that West Coast family. So, man, it was fun, man, football-wise. But when I left that facility, man, everything just kept sitting in, as far as me, where I was at in my life right now. Hey, dang, I used to be in Dallas, and, man, I'm playing for the Jets right now. But I stayed focused, though. Somehow, some way, I stayed focused. That good man up above, God, carried me through. But it was a real tough time, though. I will tell you this. It was a real tough time. But, football-wise, I learned a lot, and it was actually fun. But as soon as I left that field, man, all the memories come back, from my days in Dallas and actually what happened. Yep.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that story with us right here on #PVT, Mr. Quincy Carter, right here. Sústame one time.
Uncle James.